Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe my channel. Today we're talking about the top 5 most valuable and rare US one-dime coins that could be hiding in your change jar right now. Some of these dimes are worth far more than you'd think, and you won't believe the last one on the list. Stick around until the end to find out which dime could be worth thousands. Let's start with top 1. Have you ever held a coin in your hand and wondered about its history, its design, or the journey it's taken to end up in your collection? Today, we're going to dive deep into one such coin, the 1985 USA 1 dime. You might be surprised to learn that this seemingly ordinary dime holds a story that goes way beyond its face value. It's a coin that has seen the rise and fall of economies, shifts in political climates, and changes in public sentiment. Yet, in spite of all that, it's still here today, captivating collectors and numismatists alike. It all begins with the humble beginnings of the 1 dime coin. When you think of a dime, you're probably imagining a small, silver-colored coin, just 10 cents, barely enough to buy a candy bar these days. But in the context of American history, the dime holds more significance than you might expect. The dime has always been a symbol of both the small yet enduring contributions of everyday Americans and the country's evolving identity. In 1985, the 1 dime coin carried with it not just the value it had in the marketplace, but also a piece of American history, something that links every person who has ever owned 1 dime to the past. The history of this coin is rich, and its design tells its own story, one that links the nation's past with its present. Before we get into the design, let's take a step back and consider the year itself, 1985. It was a time of major cultural and economic shifts in America. The Reagan administration was in full swing, marking an era of both prosperity and growing division in the country. The Cold War was still ongoing, with tensions between the US and the Soviet Union reaching new heights. Yet, the year was also marked by economic growth. The stock market was doing well, and consumerism was at an all-time high. But amid all of this, the country's coins and currency continued to be a quiet testament to the country's strength and resilience. Every dime a reminder of the values that had built America. Now, let's zoom in on the coin itself, the 1985 1 dime. At first glance, it might look like any other dime in circulation. But as you know, nothing in the world of numismatics is ever quite that simple. Every coin, every mint mark, every little detail plays a part in its story. In 1985, the dime was still part of the same family of coins that had been in circulation since the 1940s, designed by none other than the legendary sculptor John R. Sinek. His design had been chosen in 1946 to replace the old winged Liberty head dime. Sinek's design features the profile of Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States. Roosevelt, who had passed away in 1945, was chosen for his role in leading the nation through the Great Depression and World War II. The 1985 dime, with Roosevelt's profile facing left, is a reflection of the enduring legacy of his leadership. You'll notice that the coin features the words Liberty and In God We Trust, as well as the year of minting, 1985, right beneath Roosevelt's profile. The reverse side of the coin, designed by the artist Jack L. H.R., depicts a torch, an olive branch, and an oak branch, symbolizing liberty, peace, and strength, respectively. The reverse is also where you'll find the words E pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one, a motto that speaks to the unity of the nation. But let's dive a little deeper into the details that make this 1985 coin stand out, particularly in the world of collectors. The 1985 dime was minted in large quantities, with over 1 billion of them produced across the 3 main mints in the United States: the Philadelphia Mint, the Denver Mint, and the San Francisco Mint. Of course, most of these coins went into circulation and were spent in daily transactions, just like any other dime. However, as with many coins, some of the dimes from this year were set aside, either by mistake or by choice, and preserved in pristine condition. This is where things get interesting for coin collectors and investors alike. You see, the value of a coin is not just determined by its age or its rarity, but by its condition and sometimes by its unique characteristics. In the case of the 1985 dime, the coin became a subject of interest for its potential to be struck in ways that were unexpected. Collectors quickly realized that some 1985 dimes were struck with misprints, errors, or slight variations that made them more valuable. The most famous example? The 1985 double die error, a mistake made during the minting process, where the die that struck the coin was misaligned, causing some of the details to appear doubled. If you're lucky enough to find one of these coins in your collection, it could be worth far more than its nominal value. The 1985 dime with a double die is a perfect example of how small imperfections can lead to significant value in the numismatic world. A coin that was originally intended to be nothing more than a simple 10-cent piece could, through the quirks of production, become a rare treasure sought after by collectors worldwide. And in the case of these rare error dimes, the potential value is astronomical. But let's talk a bit more about the minting process itself, because this is where things get really interesting. The US Mint in 1985 was still using the same traditional method of coining, a process that involved striking a coin with a die and hammering it onto a blank disc of metal known as a planchet. The 1985 dimes, like other dimes produced in that era, were primarily composed of copper and nickel, giving them their familiar silver-like appearance. It's important to note that the coins were also produced in very high quantities. The mint was busy preparing for the economic shifts and demands of the 1980s, including a growing need for smaller denominations in daily commerce. But while most of these coins would circulate and eventually be worn down, some would be set aside by collectors, and that's where the true value of the 1985 dime starts to reveal itself. You might be wondering, if these coins were so widely circulated and produced, what makes them so valuable? Well, it all comes down to rarity, condition, and specific variations. Coins in pristine condition, often referred to as uncirculated, are the holy grail of coin collectors. These coins, fresh from the mint with no visible wear or damage, are highly sought after. But even more rare are those that have unique errors, like the double die or even slight minting anomalies that happen during the production process. So, where does this bring us? What is the true value of a 1985 dime? And why has this coin captivated the hearts of so many collectors? To answer that, we need to understand one fundamental concept in numismatics. Rarity.as with anything, rarity is what drives value. And when we talk about the 1985 dime, we're not just talking about any dime. We're talking about the potential for a rare error coin, one that could fetch a price far beyond what you'd expect from a standard 10-cent piece. Coins that were mistruck or had unique features have seen auction prices soar into the tens of thousands of dollars. And now, for the moment you've all been waiting for, the big reveal. How much is the 1985 one-dime coin worth today? Well, if you have a pristine, uncirculated 1985 dime, you might be able to sell it for a few dollars. But if you happen to have one of those rare error coins, especially the famous double die 1985 dime, then the value can reach astonishing heights. In fact, some of these rare coins have been known to sell for upwards of $113,000. Yes, you heard that right, $113,000. That's the value of a coin that, in 1985, was worth just 10 cents. It's a staggering amount, and it just goes to show how valuable the world of numismatics can be when you're dealing with coins that are as rare and unique as the 1985 one dime. So what should you take away from all this? The next time you see a dime, don't just dismiss it as loose change. You might be holding on to something far more valuable than you realize. Whether it's a rare error coin or simply one in pristine condition, the 1985 dime is a reminder that history is often hidden in the most unexpected places. Do you ever stop and wonder about the coins you encounter on a daily basis? The simple dimes that are often tossed into the tip jar or the change jar at home. What if I told you that one of those dimes, specifically the 1986 USA one dime, could be worth far more than you might imagine? Today, we're going to explore the fascinating history, design, and incredible value of this seemingly ordinary coin. And I promise, by the end of this journey, you'll look at your pocket change a little differently. Let's start by stepping back in time to 1986. The world was in the midst of a significant cultural shift. The United States was coming out of a period of economic turbulence in the 1970s and early 80s. Ronald Reagan was in office, overseeing a period of economic recovery, tax cuts, and increased military spending. The country was experiencing a sense of renewal not just politically, but culturally as well. It was a time of innovation, a time when technology and pop culture were beginning to shape the world in ways that would echo for decades to come. Amid this economic and cultural backdrop, the United States Mint was hard at work. Coins like the penny, nickel, dime, quarter, and half-dollar were being minted in high numbers to meet the demands of a bustling economy. But as we all know, not all coins are made equal, and some stand out far beyond their face value. And that's exactly what we're talking about today, the 1986 one-dime coin. At first glance, this dime may seem like just another coin, no different from the countless others you've held in your hand. After all, it features the same design that's been in circulation for decades. But the 1986 dime, like so many coins in the world of numismatics, holds a much deeper significance. Let's talk about its design, because this is where the 1986 dime really starts to take shape. Since 1946, the dime had been graced with the profile of Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States. This design, created by John R. Sinek, was chosen in honor of Roosevelt's leadership during the Great Depression and World War II. The likeness of Roosevelt on the obverse front of the coin is both dignified and timeless, reflecting the enduring impact of his legacy. The reverse side of the coin, which depicts a torch, an olive branch, and an oak branch, carries its own symbolic weight. The torch represents liberty, the olive branch stands for peace, and the oak branch is a symbol of strength. Together, these elements reinforce the ideals of freedom, unity, and resilience that the United States was built upon. And if you look closely, you'll see the motto E pluribus unum, out of many, one, a fitting reminder of the nation's unity despite its diversity. But here's where things get particularly interesting. While the 1986 one dime looks like any other coin with Roosevelt's profile and the classic reverse design, there's one important factor we need to consider: its production and the subtle differences that can make or break its value in the world of collectors. In 1986, the U.S. Mint produced a significant number of dimes, over 1 billion of them to be exact. These coins were minted across multiple U.S. Mint facilities, including the Philadelphia Mint, the Denver Mint, and the San Francisco Mint. As is typical, the majority of these dimes were used in everyday transactions, circulating through cash registers and into people's pockets. But among these billions of dimes, some were set aside, either by chance or by the deliberate decision of collectors, because they had something special about them. The 1986 dime has captured the attention of numismatists for several reasons, one of the most intriguing being the potential for error coins. Error coins are coins that were mistruck or have some form of imperfection, and as we've seen with other coins in history, these errors can sometimes make a coin far more valuable than its face value. While most 1986 dimes are relatively standard, there are a few rare examples of misstrikes and other anomalies that have caused collectors to sit up and take notice. Let's talk about these error coins for a moment. One of the most notable errors from the 1986 dime series involves the double die variety, a striking mistake that results in the image being duplicated, creating a noticeable doubling of the coin's features. This happens when the die used to strike the coin is misaligned during the minting process, creating a sort of blurry, doubled appearance. Coins with this type of error are highly prized by collectors because they are both unique and extremely rare. When a coin is struck incorrectly, it becomes a one-of-a-kind item, and that rarity is what drives its value up. While the 1986 double die errors are relatively scarce, they're certainly not the only valuable variation. Some 1986 dimes were struck with unusual wear patterns, while others may have had minor flaws during production that make them stand out from the rest. Coins with these small imperfections, when in excellent condition, can fetch impressive prices on the open market. It's these subtle details, errors, variations, or even pristine, uncirculated coins that make the 1986 dime so sought after in the numismatic community. Another factor that contributes to the coin's value is its overall condition. Coins that have been preserved in mint state or uncirculated condition are often worth significantly more than those that have been in circulation and show signs of wear and tear. The 1986 dime, in particular, is considered to have a relatively high survival rate in uncirculated condition, which means that there are still some pristine specimens out there, waiting to be discovered by collectors who know where to look. But let's pause for a moment and take a step back. Why does a coin like the 1986 dime, even one in regular circulation, hold such value for collectors? The answer lies in the world of numismatics and the concept of rarity. Coins, especially those from specific years or with particular features, are sought after because they tell a story. They represent a moment in time, a snapshot of history. And the rarer the coin, the more coveted it becomes. In the case of the 1986 dime, it wasn't just the year or the design that makes it stand out, but the unique circumstances that surrounded its production. The 1980s were a transitional time for the U.S. Mint, as the country was seeing shifts in its economy, political leadership, and international relations. The 1986 dime, for all its simplicity, became part of this larger historical tapestry, linking past and present. So, what about the value of the 1986 one dime today? You're probably wondering how much one of these dimes might be worth if you happen to stumble upon one in your collection or coin jar. Well, the value of a typical 1986 dime in regular circulation is, of course, just 10 cents. But for those coins in near mint or uncirculated condition, the value could be a bit higher, sometimes ranging from a few dollars to around $20 to $50, depending on its state. However, the real shocker comes when we talk about the error coins, specifically the rare double die varieties and other unique misstrikes. The price for these rare dimes can soar to astronomical amounts, sometimes reaching well over $100,000. Yes, you read that correctly, $110,000. That's the staggering value of a highly sought-after 1986 dime in excellent condition with an error or rare feature. The story of the 1986 dime serves as a powerful reminder of how history, design, and simple mistakes can intertwine to create something incredibly valuable. A dime that was originally worth just 10 cents could, in the right circumstances, fetch an incredible price on the open market. And for collectors, that's the magic of numismatics. So, the next time you find a 1986 dime in your change, take a moment to appreciate its history and design. Who knows? You might just be holding on to a coin worth more than you ever imagined. Whether it's an error coin, a unique misstrike, or just one in excellent condition, the 1986 dime is a perfect example of how the world of coin collecting is full of surprises. Now, we are going to explore one of the most fascinating pieces of American currency, the 1996 USA 1 dime coin. It's a seemingly ordinary dime, but as we peel back the layers of its history, design, and the intriguing story behind it, you'll soon see why it's far from just another coin in your pocket. And trust me, you'll want to stick around until the very end when we reveal the mind-blowing value this dime could have today. The history of American coinage is a long and storied one, dating back to the late 18th century. But in 1996, something unusual happened. A simple dime, perhaps one you've passed by countless times, quietly became part of a story that collectors would remember for years to come. But before we get to that, let's set the stage with a bit of context. By the mid-1990s, the United States Mint had already produced billions of coins in various denominations, including the ever-popular dime. The dime is often overlooked in the grand scheme of American coins. Small, almost unassuming, yet its design and history carry with them great significance. The dime's history stretches all the way back to the 1790s, with the first coins being struck under the Mint Act of 1792, signed by President George Washington. Over the years, the dime has undergone various changes, but its most iconic design, the one we'll be discussing today, was created by none other than famed sculptor Adolph A. Weinman. Weinman's design, first introduced in 1916, features the profile of Lady Liberty on the obverse and a majestic depiction of a winged Mercury on the reverse. While Mercury wasn't actually the god being portrayed, the winged figure became synonymous with freedom and mobility, and his image is still cherished by collectors today. This design remained in circulation until the 1940s, when the Mint decided to switch things up, introducing a new design that would be called the Roosevelt dime. President Franklin D. Roosevelt was chosen as the face of this new dime in honor of his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II. Roosevelt's legacy as a leader who fought for social reform and helped guide the nation through some of its darkest times made him a perfect candidate. The new design was unveiled in 1946, just months after his passing. It has remained largely unchanged for decades, making it one of the most iconic and enduring designs in American numismatic history. Now, fast forward to the year 1996. The design of the Roosevelt dime, featuring the familiar profile of the late president, was still in circulation. However, in the world of coin collecting, certain years, even those with standard designs, carry special significance. Why? Because of variations that might not be immediately obvious to the casual observer. In 1996, the U.S. Mint produced dimes with a few unusual characteristics that made the coins from that year stand out to collectors. This particular year is part of a critical period in minting history that saw certain mistakes and variations in production. Let's dive into these quirks, which, unbeknownst to many, would contribute to the coin's growing appeal. When coins are struck at the U.S. Mint, they're typically produced in large batches. These batches are meant to be uniform, but over time, there can be slight discrepancies in how they're made, whether due to a misalignment in the die, inconsistencies in the metal alloy, or subtle errors in the production process. The 1996 dimes are known for a few of these types of variations, and this is what makes them so fascinating. One of the most significant features that collectors and experts look for in the 1996 dime is its no-S mint mark. Let me explain. Normally, all U.S. coins have a mint mark indicating where they were produced. The 1996 dime, however, came with an unexpected twist. The mint mark, usually located on the reverse of the coin, was completely absent on a small batch of dimes minted in 1996 at the San Francisco Mint. This omission wasn't intentional, it was a mistake. But in the world of numismatics, mistakes can sometimes be worth more than the coins that were produced as planned. At first glance, a 1996 dime without a mint mark may not seem extraordinary, but to a trained eye, it stands out as a rare and highly valuable variation. The San Francisco Mint, which normally produces proof coins and special editions, had been known for producing coins with precise markings, and the omission of the S mint mark caused a stir in the collecting community. Suddenly, this small 10-cent coin became the subject of intense interest. Coin collectors immediately recognized the rarity of this no-S variety, and in the years that followed, it became one of the most sought-after coins from the 1990s. But the intrigue doesn't stop there. What makes the 1996 no-S dime so unique is that it's not just rare. It's also incredibly hard to find in mint condition. Many of these coins were circulated, which means they were subject to the wear and tear of everyday use. Finding one of these coins in uncirculated, near-perfect condition is almost like discovering a hidden treasure. This is where the value really starts to soar. Now, let's talk about why these dimes, specifically the 1996 no-S variety, are so highly coveted. In the world of numismatics, rarity and condition are the two main factors that drive value. The 1996 no-S dime is rare due to the error in production, and finding one in exceptional condition, free of nicks, scratches, or discoloration, is incredibly difficult. As time passes and these coins are removed from circulation, the number of pristine examples continues to dwindle, further driving up their value. In fact, It wasn't long before the 1996 NOS dime became known as one of the holy grails of modern coin collecting. Its appeal is not only in the historical mistake but also in the sheer rarity of the coin itself. It's not every day that a mint error like this occurs, and when it does, collectors line up to add it to their collections. But what is the actual value of a 1996 NOS dime today? You might be wondering, how much is a coin that sounds so ordinary worth? Here's where things get truly exciting. The value of these coins has skyrocketed over the years. While a regular 1996 dime with a mint mark may only fetch a few cents or a couple of dollars at most, the 1996 NOS dimes, especially those in near-perfect condition, can be worth thousands. Yes, thousands. If you're lucky enough to have one of these rarities in your possession, or if you come across one in a collection, hold on tight. A well-preserved 1996 NOS dime can easily fetch anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000 at auction. And that's not even the most incredible part. The real kicker? Some of the highest grade specimens, those that are flawless, absolutely perfect, have been known to sell for as much as $96,000. Yes, you heard that right. $96,000 for a single dime. Imagine the shock of a collector who stumbled upon this treasure in a bag of change or inherited it as part of a family collection. For many, this could be a life-changing windfall, a small coin that becomes a massive payday. So, if you've got a 1996 dime lying around, take a closer look. It might be just a regular coin, or it could be one of the rarest and most valuable dimes ever produced by the U.S. Mint. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or just getting started, the world of rare coins is full of surprises, and the 1996 NOS dime is a perfect example of how a small piece of history can pack a big punch. In conclusion, the 1996 USA one-dime coin, particularly the NOS variety, stands as one of the most fascinating and valuable coins of the modern era. From its humble beginnings in the U.S. Mint to its status as a coveted collector's item, this little dime tells a story of rarity, mistakes, and the incredible value that can emerge from the most unexpected places. So, the next time you dig through your change, remember, sometimes a dime is more than just a dime. It could be the key to unlocking a treasure trove of numismatic history and financial fortune. Thanks for watching, and be sure to hit that like button if you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1996 USA one-dime coin. Don't forget to subscribe for more coin stories, collecting tips, and all things numismatic. Who knows? Maybe your next coin search will lead you to something truly remarkable. Until next time, happy collecting. Have you ever paused to consider the story behind a coin, especially one that seems so simple and ubiquitous like the dime? We carry them around in our pockets every day, and they pass through our hands so easily that it's easy to forget they have a history all their own. But as we dive into the world of numismatics, we discover that even the smallest coin in the U.S. currency system, the 10-cent piece, has a fascinating tale to tell. In this video, we'll be exploring the 1999 USA one-dime coin. At first glance, it may seem like just another dime, right? But this specific coin, minted in 1999, holds within it a story of American history, cultural change, and most importantly, a surprising twist in the world of coin collecting that has seen some of these dimes sell for as much as $93,000. Stick with me as we unfold the tale of the 1999 one-dime coin, uncovering its design, minting details, and how it has become a coveted piece of numismatic treasure. Let's first set the stage by looking at the year 1999, which was a time of transition in America. The late 90s were an era of economic prosperity, technological innovation, and a new millennial spirit. The U.S. was enjoying the final years of the longest peacetime economic expansion in its history. The Clinton administration was wrapping up its second term, and the country was on the cusp of a new century, filled with both excitement and uncertainty about what the future would hold. In 1999, the economy was thriving. The internet was beginning to reshape how people lived and worked, and tech companies were booming. The world was preparing for the Y2K problem, where people worried that the turn of the millennium would cause chaos in technology systems. Despite the sense of optimism, There was an undercurrent of fear that the digital world was advancing faster than we could understand it. Yet, despite all the focus on technological advances and the turn of the century, coins like the 1 dime were still circulating, silently carrying the weight of American history with them. But how did the 1999 dime come to be? Let's take a closer look at its design, which might reveal more than meets the eye. The design of the dime hasn't changed much over the years. The dime you hold in your hand today bears the likeness of Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States. His image, which first appeared on the dime in 1946, has remained a consistent and dignified representation of the country's leadership during the Great Depression and World War II. Franklin D. Roosevelt was chosen to appear on the dime because of his tremendous impact on the country during some of its most trying times. His image, in profile, is the focal point of the coin's obverse, front, side. Behind Roosevelt's profile are the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," two iconic phrases that have appeared on U.S. currency for decades. Beneath Roosevelt's image is the year of minting, in this case 1999, which tells us when the coin was produced. The reverse side of the coin features a design by artist John R. Sinek, and it depicts a torch flanked by an olive branch and an oak branch. These symbols represent the ideals of liberty, peace, and strength, which are fundamental values that the U.S. continues to hold dear. But while the design of the 1999 dime may seem familiar, it's not the design itself that has captivated collectors. It's the details that went into its production, and specifically certain characteristics of some 1999 dimes, that have driven up its collector value. Before we get into the specific collector appeal, let's talk about the minting process for the 1999 dime. The U.S. Mint, which had been responsible for coin production since 1792, was working at full capacity in the late 1990s. Millions of dimes were struck each year at the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints. The 1999 1 dime coin was no exception, with over 1 billion dimes produced that year. These dimes were used for everyday transactions just like any other coin, and most of them entered circulation without attracting much attention. However, as is the case with many mass-produced coins, a few key dimes from that year were not like the others. Whether due to error, misalignment, or other issues in the minting process, some 1999 dimes were struck in a way that made them incredibly rare and valuable. And this is where the story takes a turn for the more exciting. While most 1999 dimes are worth their face value of 10 cents, there are certain rare variations that can command huge sums at auction. One of the most important aspects that collectors look for when evaluating a 1999 dime is its condition. A coin in perfect condition is far more valuable than one that has been worn down through circulation. Uncirculated coins are particularly prized because they have been carefully preserved and are free from any noticeable wear or damage. This is where the 1999 dime begins to reveal its true worth. In fact, collectors have been known to pay premium prices for the finest specimens, especially when they are graded as mint state, which is the highest rating for coins that have not been in circulation. But the value of the 1999 dime doesn't stop there. Some error coins from this year have become incredibly sought after. The most notable errors in the 1999 dime series are the off-center dimes, a result of the minting process where the planchet or blank coin was not properly aligned when struck. These errors are rare, and coins that feature an off-center strike are highly prized by collectors, as they represent an unusual and unique mistake in the production process. Another key error involves coins that were double-struck, meaning the die used to strike the coin was pressed onto the planchet more than once, resulting in a blurry or doubled image. Double-struck coins are very valuable because they are so unique, and when they come from a popular series like the 1999 dime, their value skyrockets. However, it's not just errors that make the 1999 dime interesting to collectors. The fact that it was minted in such high numbers means that there are many surviving examples in pristine condition, and these coins are highly valued in today's market. While they may not fetch the astronomical prices of error coins, uncirculated 1999 dimes in mint condition can still bring in hundreds of dollars, especially if they are graded highly by professional organizations. But here's where the story gets even more intriguing. Some 1999 dimes have become incredibly valuable because of the rarity and condition of specific varieties. Collectors have found coins that were struck with slight variations in detail, caused by worn or damaged dies, or slight minting inconsistencies. These minor flaws, while not considered errors in the traditional sense, can still add significant value to the coin. Now, let's move on to the big question. How much is the 1999 dime worth today? As with any coin, the value of a 1999 dime depends on several factors: its condition, its rarity, and whether it has any errors or unique features. The typical 1999 dime in average condition is worth its face value, just 10 cents. However, a coin in excellent, uncirculated condition could fetch anywhere from $20 to $100, depending on its quality and specific characteristics. But what about the rare dimes? The 1999 error coins, particularly the off-center or double-struck varieties, can sell for significant amounts. Some of these error coins have been known to sell for as much as $10,000 or more, with the most extreme examples reaching $93,000. That's right, $93,000 for a single 1999 dime. It's hard to believe, but the world of coin collecting is filled with surprising twists and unexpected rewards for those who know where to look. For collectors who are fortunate enough to stumble upon one of these rare 1999 dimes, it's like finding a hidden treasure. The world of numismatics is full of surprises, and sometimes the most ordinary-seeming coins can hold extraordinary value. So, the next time you find yourself with a handful of dimes, take a moment to look closely at them. You might just be holding on to something far more valuable than you ever imagined. Whether it's a rare off-center strike, a pristine uncirculated coin, or just one with a subtle minting variation, the 1999 dime is a great example of how a simple coin can tell a rich and fascinating story. And who knows, it might just be worth more than a few bucks. In the end, the 1999 one dime is a perfect representation of what makes coin collecting so exciting. The thrill of discovering something rare and valuable in the most unlikely of places. Top 5 last but not the least, the 2015 USA one dime coin. At first glance, the 2015 dime might look like just another coin you find in your pocket, but there's much more to it than meets the eye. By the end of this video, you'll not only have a deeper appreciation for this particular dime but also be stunned by its potential value. Right now, that's sitting at an astonishing $73,000. Let's take a step back in time to understand how this 10-cent piece fits into the larger narrative of US currency and what makes this particular year and this specific dime so intriguing. The history of the dime dates all the way back to 1796, when the first dimes were minted as part of the Coinage Act of 1792, which established the U.S. Mint. The coinage was designed to help stabilize the fledgling U.S. economy and provide citizens with a standard currency. Over the centuries, the design of the dime has changed several times, but its essential role in American life remained constant, providing small change for everyday transactions. The story of the dime isn't just about its monetary value, though. It's about the artistic and historical narratives that are etched into its face and into the history of the country itself. In the 20th century, the dime would undergo one of its most iconic design changes. In 1946, President Franklin D. Roosevelt's image was chosen to grace the obverse of the coin, replacing the previous design featuring the winged figure of Mercury. Roosevelt was selected to honor his leadership during the Great Depression and his role in guiding the United States through World War II. This new design was introduced just a few months after Roosevelt's death, making the Roosevelt dime not just a symbol of leadership but also a tribute to his enduring legacy. Since then, the Roosevelt dime has remained largely unchanged, with only minor alterations made over the decades. This continuity is part of what makes the Roosevelt dime so iconic and beloved by collectors. However, as we know in the world of coin collecting, even minor shifts in production or design can lead to surprising discoveries, and that's exactly what happened with the 2015 dime. Now, let's zoom in on 2015, the year that we're really here to explore. By this point, the US Mint had produced billions of Roosevelt dimes, and while most dimes produced in 2015 were fairly standard, there was a unique event tied to this year's coinage that would make certain 2015 dimes exceptionally rare and valuable. To understand why, we need to first explore how the US Mint operates and why errors in production can make coins like the 2015 dime so special that in any given year, the US Mint produces a staggering number of coins, millions of them. These coins come from various minting facilities across the country, and during the process, there can occasionally be minor errors or imperfections. Most of the time, these errors are overlooked or dismissed as insignificant, but in the world of numismatics, those mistakes can sometimes become incredibly valuable. In the case of the 2015 dime, there were a handful of rare minting errors that would eventually cause the coin to stand out in the eyes of collectors. One of the most important of these errors was a misalignment in the coin's design. Normally, the obverse and reverse designs on a dime align perfectly when the coin is struck. However, due to a slight mistake in the production process, some 2015 dimes were struck with an incorrect die alignment, causing the obverse and reverse to be offset. This type of error, known as a die misalignment, creates a visually striking effect where the design appears to be shifted on the coin. This die misalignment isn't just a subtle flaw, it's highly noticeable. The misalignment causes the images of Roosevelt and the torch on the obverse, as well as the olive branch and oak branch on the reverse, to appear tilted or off-center. It's this distinctive feature that made these coins immediately stand out to collectors and sparked a frenzy for those willing to pay a premium for such a rare error. But there's more to the story. While the misaligned die is one of the most well-known features that contributed to the 2015 dime's collectability, it's not the only thing that made this coin so special. Another rare factor is the condition of the coin. In the world of coin collecting, condition is paramount. The better the condition, the higher the value. For coins struck with die misalignments or other minting errors, it's even more important to find examples that are in as close to mint condition as possible. Most of the 2015 dimes that were struck with misalignments ended up in circulation, which means they were subjected to wear and tear. However, some lucky collectors have found these coins in pristine, uncirculated condition, and it is these coins that are truly worth a fortune. But what's the real value of the 2015 dime, specifically the die misaligned variety? As with any collectible, the value is determined by several factors: rarity, demand, and condition. When you combine all these factors, the price for a 2015 misaligned die dime can range dramatically. But we're not just talking about a coin worth a few extra dollars. Some of the highest quality specimens of these dimes, those that have been preserved in near-perfect condition, can command prices well into the tens of thousands of dollars. In fact, the most pristine, error-free versions of the 2015 misaligned die dimes have sold for as much as $73,000 in some cases. That's right, a coin that started its life as a simple 10-cent piece could be worth more than a brand new car or even a house, depending on its condition and rarity. It's important to remember that the world of coin collecting is both thrilling and unpredictable. What might seem like a random dime found in your change could actually turn out to be a treasure worth tens of thousands of dollars. And for collectors, that's the real excitement. The chase. The search for those rare, valuable coins that others might overlook. Now, you may be wondering how to tell if you've got a 2015 misaligned die dime in your possession. It's easier than you might think to spot the error, once you know what to look for. First, examine the alignment of the design. If you notice that the obverse and reverse seem to be shifted or tilted in a noticeable way, you've likely got one of the rarer coins. The best way to confirm your find is to take it to a reputable coin dealer or get it professionally graded. Grading is a critical step in determining the true value of a coin, and it will help ensure that you're getting the correct valuation for your dime. For those who are new to the world of coin collecting, discovering a coin like this can be a truly thrilling experience. Whether you've inherited a collection, found the coin by chance, or are just starting to explore the world of numismatics, The 2015 misaligned dime serves as a perfect example of how a simple coin can carry enormous value, and how the pursuit of rare, valuable coins is something that anyone can get excited about. As we wrap up, remember that coins like the 2015 misaligned dime aren't just about monetary value. They're about the stories they carry, the history they represent, and the thrill of the hunt for something truly rare. A simple 10-cent piece from 2015 can turn into a small fortune, and that's what makes coin collecting such a captivating and rewarding hobby. Thanks for joining me today on this journey into the fascinating world of American coins. If you've enjoyed this deep dive into the 2015 USA 1 dime coin, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more exciting coin stories, collecting tips, and insights into the rarest treasures in the numismatic world. You never know. Your next coin search could lead you to an unexpected jackpot. Sure, here's a concise and engaging closing line for the call to action. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more exciting content about rare coins and collecting tips. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.